Thanks, Amanda. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg is almost 1 month into his term.
And he joins us this morning live to talk about his focuses for the city. Welcome back to the show. Glad to have you. Thank you for your time, sir.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, I want to ask you about your big announcement yesterday. You said you were going to address the homeless population in Louisville and their needs. That includes $24 million affordable housing. We're talking about $8 million for a community care campus. Now, federal money will pay for this. We established that. It is not a reoccurring issue for the city budget. We have resources right now to help homeless people. Wayside Christian Mission, the Hope Village. Are those full? And how do you get homeless people to accept this help?
Well, that's a big focus of what we announced yesterday, is we really had a three-pronged approach. First, to do everything we can with these federal funds to prevent homelessness. So people who are in a home now have the ability to stay in their home, even if because of the challenges of the past few years, they haven't been able to make their rent. And so we're going to address that. But the long-term solution, as you just mentioned, it's permanent affordable housing that we're putting $24 million into, or services and shelter for those who are currently experiencing homelessness. There are far too many people in our community that are experiencing it, and you mentioned a few of the great partners. There are others: St. Vincent de Paul, St. John's, Volunteers of America, Salvation Army, so many other, Feed Louisville, so many other great organizations that are working with the Coalition for the Homeless. And so we want them to be a part of this community care campus that we're creating, that will work with healthcare partners like Norton Healthcare and U of L Health to provide the services that individuals who are experiencing homelessness need.
Violence is the other big issue in our community. It's what we talk about just about every day. We've had so many murders already this year.
Yes.
And the disturbing thing is so many young people are victims or alleged perpetrators in these murders. What kind of steps do you want the city to take to address violence and violence among young people?
You're 100% right. That is the number one priority for me, for our entire administration, is to reduce the amount of violent crime. One murder is too many murders. We have had far too many. And so that's been our big focus, working with the chief of police, but also working with other community partners, because again, we need short, just like addressing the homeless crisis, we need short and long-term solutions that we can implement. And the best thing is to prevent crime from even happening. So we'll be making a lot of announcements about things that we're doing to invest in community partners that are working with young people across the city to get them better education, to get them more enrichment, educational, academic outlets and opportunities so that they don't choose a life of crime. At the same time, we'll be working to support our police, to get them the resources that they need to prevent crime from happening. And we have to talk about the fact that this is gun violence that is plaguing our city. And so we'll be rolling out a set of proposals and actions to reduce the amount of illegal guns on our street, because there are far too many, you're right, far too many young people committing crimes. They're also committing those crimes with guns. And so we need to do something about that. And we'll be working with our partners in Frankfurt on the juvenile justice system. Right now, that is not working well either. It's not working well for our community. It's not working well for those who are ensnared in the system and their families. And so we're working with the governor, as long as with members of the state Senate and state House of Representatives, to address that issue for Louisville.
Now, when it comes to combating violent crime in Louisville, the tip of the spear is the police chief. One of the first major moves you made when you took over as mayor of Louisville is you decided to go in a different direction. We have an interim police chief right now.
That's right.
When do you expect to name a full-time police chief?
I think that'll realistically happen in the next couple of months. Where we are right now in the process is, last week we put out a request for proposals, and we're going to have a search firm that helps cities like ours select police chiefs, and they will help us administer the process so that we can get a pool of candidates that we're happy with, that we also can seek community input as we go through this process. So that the official process has begun. We'll hire a firm, we'll get community input, we'll start interviewing candidates, and I hope within a few months we'll have a permanent police chief. In the meantime, interim police chief Jackie Gwynn Billerowell is doing an amazing job. She is fully empowered to lead the police department, and we are working hand in hand literally every day on the issues that are affecting our city.
Real quickly, have you been able to reach a memorandum of understanding on the Inspector General and his access to, keeping some transparency with the police department?
So that document is not yet complete, although I spoke with the Inspector General yesterday. I spoke with the Chief of Police yesterday about that very issue. They are working together to come towards that, and we hope to have a memorandum of understanding between them in the very near future here. They are working collaboratively to make that happen. I think that's important that they get that done.
Mayor, thank you so much for your time. We hope that you'll come back as you unveil some more of these new initiatives, because we'd love to talk to you about them.
Absolutely, and excited about your big announcement. So
Yeah, so
great
are
to be
we.
with you all this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.